Now, if you listen to, or if you see the live version, I continue singing and we go into a bit of a breakdown, and it goes like this. I love the way, I love the way, I love the way, I love the way we spend our time in slow motion. Hey y'all, it's Hannah Johnson, and I'm here today to break down the recipe for slow motion. So Slow Motion was actually my debut single, so it's very special to me in that regard that it's the first song that I ever shared with the world, I guess I could say. And I definitely feel like it's a bit of a nod to my childhood and what I grew up listening to. It has a very strong bass line, kind of funk-driven bass line, so I would say it's about 40% funk. It definitely has those retro vibes to it. I would also say it's probably like another 40% just the inspirations that I listened to growing up, whether it was the Jackson 5 or Kool and the Gang, Mariah Carey, kind of gives like those fantasy bassline vibes that she kind of was inspired by the Tom Tom Club. So I'd say 40% funk, 40% my childhood, what I grew up listening to. And then the other 20%, I would say, is just feel-good pop. So far, the music that I've released has been, like very positive and pop-driven. So I feel like a wide range of folks can listen to it, whether you're young, older, black, white, Latino, wherever you come from. I feel like it's music that people can relate to. So I feel like it just has that nice finishing touch of just good pop positivity vibes to it. You, me, we, one of a kind. I feel like I'm basically kind of signifying that whatever I have going on with the other person, the other interest, is something special. It's something unique. In the first verse, I say, you, or you, me, we, one of a kind. And I think that just kind of signifies like when you have something very special with someone and you feel a very special connection, it almost feels like no one could quite understand, the feeling and the chemistry that you have and the love that you have for that person. I swear there's nothing like the love we got. Yeah, they all wanna get it. The time we've spent. Yeah, they all wanna have it. But this ain't nothing usual. It's me and you. I also say in the first verse that I swear there's nothing like, what we have going on. I definitely feel like that's kind of an emotion you get when you feel like you found your person. It's kind of like, I've never, had this feeling before, and it's just something special that I want to hold on to for as long as I can. When I'm with you, my whole world stops. Yeah, you could hear a pin drop. I say, when I'm with you, my whole world stops. Yeah, you could hear. It should have been pin drop. I'm going to tell on myself. So when I recorded the song, I said penny technically, which some people, I don't think really hear it. But I realized after I recorded the song that the saying is, you can hear a pin drop. But I recorded it as, you can hear a penny drop. And I was like, but it happens, it is what it is. So if you look up the lyrics online, it'll say penny, but nowadays I say pin because now I'm like subconscious about it. I think that's kind of just expressing a feeling of like when you're with, your person, your significant other. It's kind of like, not literally that the world is silent or that no one else is existing or anything, but that it's like really just your focus is on them and, what you all have and what you're building together. And it's almost like the feeling of like you could hear a pin drop, like it's just us, we're so locked in. But of course, in relationships and in anything in life, there's always other stuff going on. So just kind of pulling at those romantic strings, I guess I would say. I'm wishing we could put this on rewind, 'cause I love when we spend our time in slow motion. In slow motion. That for me is like meaning that sometimes, like they say, when you're having a good time, or time flies when you're having fun. So it's kind of like when you're, with someone that you really like, and you're having a great time. Kind of that slogan of like, I don't want this night to end, or can we stay out a little longer? Like, do you have more time? It's kind of just saying that I wish we could just spend our time in slow motion, because when I'm with you, it's like the time is flying, and I'm wishing that we had more time together. They all tried to copy, but there ain't none like the real thing. So with that, in essence, it's kind of like, I feel like nowadays, especially with social media, it's easy to like see a couple online, or even like a group of people, whether there's a group of friends or it's a team, like a sports team, or whatever the group is, or the pair, whatever. You see that and you're kind of like, oh, I like that. Like that's, couple goals or whatever. And you kind of want to have that in your own life and kind of replicate that. But what I'm saying in the song is kind of like, people can try to copy, they can try to, replicate it, but it can't be duplicated, because it's real and it's authentic and it's a unique connection that, we share. You and I been steady for a minute. They can try, but they're never gonna get it. 'Cause this ain't nothing usual. It's me and you. And that part of the song is kind of referencing like going steady. You've been with this. So in that part of the song, it's kind of referencing that you've been going steady with this person, for a little while. It's kind of past that puppy dog love, where people are like, oh, it's just a phase. It'll end soon. It's like, no, like we've been together for a minute now and the feeling is still the same. I still, really like you and you really like me. It kind of just, again, points to that pre-chorus line of like, this isn't, something usual. It's not something that happens every day. This is something special. And then, of course, we go back into slow motion. In slow motion. So that, of course, is just being, once again, it's like time flies when you're having fun. I really wish that we could, in some way, slow down the time when we're together and be able to kind of just relive moments in a sort of way, put them on rewind. And so that is the end of the studio version of Slow Motion. As I've been performing the song live, I incorporated kind of an outro to it. The song does have an outro where there's kind of like a funky guitar comes in and the bass line keeps going. But when I was performing it live, I realized that I kind of wanted to, do something different, give people something special, because they are, coming out in person and supporting, by giving their time and attention to come out to a show. So I wanted to add something different and also just to spice it up. So, folks, even if they do know the studio version by heart, they're getting something different and something kind of exciting. So in the outro, I say, I love the way, I love the way, I love the way, I we spend our time in slow motion. So that's just kind of like an, what's the word? I feel like it's kind of just really hammering the point home that I really love it when we spend time together, and wishing that we could spend time together in slow motion. Although in the outro, I'm kind of saying that we do spend our time in slow motion. So maybe also just pointing to the fact that when we're together, it's kind of like the rest of the world, it doesn't matter in a sense. So maybe that just feels like a wind down in itself, because with everything going on, you know, you have work, you have family, you have different things that you have to tend to and obligations in life. But when you're with your person and you can kind of just focus on one another, maybe just that in itself kind of feels like a slowing down of time. But yeah, but that's Slow Motion. Once again, my debut single, and a song that I really love, for one, because it is like my baby. It's, like I said, the first song that I put out on streaming platforms, but it's also special because it's a nod to the music that I listened to a lot growing up. With the bass line, it's really giving like 70s, 80s music, and that's my jam. Of course, I listen to current stuff, but I really grew up on old school stuff like Motown and stuff like that. So to have something out there that kind of pays homage to my musical foundation, I would say, is very special to me.
Great. Sweet.
Yay!